Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about a very tiny little indie film. Don't know if a lot of you will have heard of it, but it's coming to us from this small-scale director named James Cameron. If you're tapped into the indie scene, you may have guessed we are going to be talking about Avatar: Fire and Ash. Avatar: Fire and Ash is the third installment in the multi-billion-dollar franchise Avatar, directed and written by James Cameron, and it picks up kind of immediately after the events of The Way of Water. Way of Water took place many years after the original Avatar. This one is wasting no time. We are rejoining the Sully family in the wake of the devastating war against the RDA and the loss of their eldest son. As they attempt to rebuild, as they plan for this escalating war, as they are trying to navigate their grief, they must reckon with a new threat, the Ash people. This is a tribe of Na'vi led by the ruthless Varang, and they play with fire. Jake and his family must fight not only for their survival, but the survival of the entire planet of Pandora. I am not a big Avatar person. I do not love this franchise like some other people do, and that's okay. It's just not for me. I kind of went into this with no expectations. The irony is not lost on me that I had the most fun watching this one out of my experience with the three, but it is also the weakest in the trilogy. Don't get me wrong, this thing looks amazing. They all look amazing. The visuals are stunning. The 3D, when it wasn't making me nauseous, was incredible and impactful. I think the way this world continues to evolve visually, the way James Cameron continues to push technology to bring us this world is impressive, and he should be commended for giving us a spectacle in the theater. He is making big event film that really understands the theatrical experience, really understands the communal experience that occurs in a theater. That being said, it really falls short in terms of its screenplay. All of them do, in my opinion. They are all pretty generic and hollow and only kind of scratch the surface thematically. This one, though, I think those cracks really show. There was an hour of this 3.5-hour movie where I was very in, where I was kind of like, oh, do I like Avatar now? Because there's some really interesting questions and themes being introduced at the outset here. We're really getting into grief, and we are really getting into faith and the way grief impacts our faith, the way we respond when our faith fails us. And I think I was so locked into this movie whenever we were dealing with the Ash people, whenever Varang was on screen, because I think the Ash people are a really big vessel for this faith conflict that Cameron wants to explore. I loved whenever they were on screen. Una Chaplin gives my favorite performance in this movie. I think she should absolutely be in awards conversation. It's such a stellar performance. However, unfortunately, the Ash people disappear then. Varang disappears for an hour. Any and all development we could have had for that character is tossed aside to rehash the same plot beats we did in 1 and 2. I'm sure she's probably going to come back in a 4th and 5th installment if they do those, but it is really frustrating that we have this really exciting new character presenting really interesting ideas, and we just don't do anything with her. We just rehash the same old plot beats with the characters that we've been exploring. The Colonel and Sully is repetitive. I think Kitty, played by Sigourney Weaver, is also kind of serving as a vessel for a lot of these faith-based questions, but that character just doesn't work for me, that chosen one thing, and I don't buy Sigourney Weaver in that role, unfortunately. I know it is motion capture, but it is very evident that this is not a 14-year-old. It really feels like a sore thumb, you know? I also do not care about Spider. I'm over that. And it all builds to a finale that is pretty repetitive and reminiscent of Way of Water's finale. I was talking to some peers after the press screening, and there were some shots where we were kind of yeah, I thought that was right out of the second one. And so it's just frustrating. We don't dive into these interesting themes presented. I know this is supposed to be a fun blockbuster film, right? It's not that deep, but when we're presenting these ideas, we can explore them a little bit, especially when this whole franchise has been posited as this exploration of colonialism and capitalism, etc. I've already mentioned how great Una Chaplin is in this. She is terrific. The physicality she brings, the menacing energy is amazing. My other big standout is, of course, Zoe Saldana. She has been my standout for this franchise. I think what she is achieving in these movies is so special, especially given that it is a motion capture performance. I think she really encapsulates what you can achieve through motion capture, how motion capture is a performance. She is like a prime example of that. I love what she's done with Neytiri throughout the series. I love this side of Neytiri as this grieving mother who is like just trying to make sense of this, trying to like navigate her anger, but also continue on and maybe go back to what she knew. It's really good stuff. My other big standout, I love Payakan and the whales. I really love all of that stuff. Very interesting. Not enough of it, in my opinion. I went in with an open mind and I did enjoy a lot of facets. Again, the visuals. There are some components and sequences that really enthralled me. But it just bails on those interesting things to just go back to familiar territory. It has no interest in pushing itself story-wise. It has no interest in expanding its storytelling. The visual storytelling is expansive. It's pushing boundaries, but the story itself, it feels a little stuck. It feels a little stagnant. I don't mind a long movie at all, especially when it effectively uses that runtime, but this movie feels so bloated. There's so many threads happening and it does not know how to juggle them all effectively and give them the time and care they each deserve. So it feels like we're breezing over things and then we don't get to explore anything meaningfully. Yeah, I went in with an open mind. I liked, again, some themes we were playing with. I liked this exploration of faith and grief and how those play with each other. I liked the aftermath of this war and how it irrevocably shapes us all. I just am wondering how much story there really is left to tell in this universe if we're not going to really do something different. I think there is a way to explore this colonialist, capitalistic hell that's invading Pandora without just doing the same pattern over and over again. I don't know. Before you come for me, I gave it 3 stars. I think fans of the Avatar franchise are going to like it, but it is very, very evident that this is the weakest of the bunch so far. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you do all the things you're supposed to do with the YouTube channel. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me everywhere. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye!